Well, hello. Wonderful, wonderful wisdom for Wednesday and every day. I send you all the greetings of the best of life for you today and giving you, mm, I guess, the frequency of hope is the word that comes to me. I've been having experiences in my meditations recently of having a healing with my hopes and distinguishing between what my personality, my ego self, wants and hopes for, and what is my true soul's desire that I'm hoping for and claiming to be possible and present. So it's been an interesting kind of an inner dance, I suppose, about hope. Um, with my meditation, Spirit was also talking about wishes, hopes and wishes and desires, and making some subtle distinctions for me. So I won't go through all that with you, but I just wanted to share that. Maybe that's something that you would want to bring into your consciousness and look deep within for how your guidance is going to open that up for you with new perspective and new new state of consciousness. So that is, how would I say no? That is my desire, is that as I share these Wednesday moments, these wisdom moments with you, that we all become participating in whatever the conversation is Spirit brings forth, that we all bring that into ourselves and share with one another, um, through our light and through the manifest intention, or through our words and actions that we get, where we get to participate with people in a very direct spiritual way. It varies, doesn't it? Because we're that when our intention is to be in our own center, in our own place of harmony, of love, then anything we're saying and doing with whomever is around is already perfectly energized and doing its work with individuals and the whole universe. So I used to think sometimes that I only needed to be around people who agreed with me or who we were on this like a same path, and that's wonderful to have community like that. It's supportive and it feels encouraging and makes some parts of life a little easier. But um, it's what I would say the random strangers that I encounter or people that I meet through others in a more broad way. I'm feeling through that opportunities not to preach and teach, but to be authentic and to not have to engage in discussion, which is uncomfortable, but to just sort of listen. And if I have a wisdom, I'll know it to share. And it's fun. It's a fun thing. I grew up feeling very shy, and I still have an aspect of myself that feels more introverted and shy. I would prefer small, intimate kind of groups or gatherings than I would huge, large things. So the times when I personally wanted to go to a concert of wonderful musicians, if it's in a big arena, wow, I just less and less feel like I can manage that high intensity and that loud and that claustrophobic feeling energy. So I really do appreciate that those littler, seemingly littler moments when I get to recognize the fun and all the good stuff that comes from sharing with people. And that's why today is here. I mean, why I've chosen to play with uh, these wisdoms for Wednesday. So that's what I'm going to share today, my opening. And then I'm going to step aside now and we'll see, I feel it, um, what the message is, and um, reminding people that when I'm getting into and as I'm in, I'm not going to personally be able to respond to comments that are made. Excuse me. Uh, but Daryl will monitor that usually and at least acknowledge people's presence and things that they have comments or questions about. And usually at some point during or after the event, he will explain more directly who it was that was sharing, or any other pertinent details about what Spirit brought forth and what our work is coming into play in the next while. So, here we go. I don't know what, I got goopy in my eyes today. Sorry. Well, I greet you, beloved friends of God. I am, God thou art, what is not. Goddess, I am, Goddess thou art, what is not. I am called Uriel, and I am here to give you a reminder or two or three about how it is that you might be more supported in every part of your human life existence here by recognizing your state of being when you are in the surroundings of a natural world, meaning beyond the concretes and the buildings and the density of communal life at times. How it feels for you to be in weather elements at times, whether it's to be in the sunlight or in the drizzling or pouring rain, or in the winds and breezes, and snow in some cases, and little pellets of ice that can come down. So while we don't recommend that you put yourself into a harmful moment by stepping into extremes of weather, but you can observe them and feel them nonetheless. You can realize what all of that is for you, what the energies of those storms, the blizzards, the extreme heats or colds, all of these things which seem to show up in your world, are noticing them more and more. These are moments to feel the power of creation and that frequency, that electrical magnetic current that you are. You are part of all of that. So I started with motion like this. Not to bring you down, but to bring into the grounded state of presence with your body here on this earth. And that would be then our recommendation, reminders, to as frequently as you can, put your feet, bare feet, upon the earth, upon the sand, the grass, the leaves and mulch of a forest, the pebbles and growth around water, wherever that can be for you, whenever. Make certain that you apply that into a moment of conscious connection. And in that conscious connection, realize that you are not only drawing up from the earth, you are giving the earth in a more direct way. When not possible to physically do this, this is our next suggestion. You don't have to be a gardener. You do not have to be a farmer. But you can have available to you a potting or a place where there is dirt, soil. Things can be growing in it or not growing in it. When you cannot walk on it, recognize the gift that that represents, that you can actually put your feet in it at times, if it's shallow enough for you to make that step, big enough for the beauteousness of your physical feet, or equally placing your hands in that dirt, on it, feeling it, making the motion with your own hands to feel it between your fingers as you would between your toes beneath your form. This is therapeutic, we could say, for body, mind, and spirit. It is the place where you realize you are part of the cells of your body. The whole presence of your being here is part of this earth, the ground in which you are living, on and in. And the third suggestion is, because it is equal, when you are available to put your feet in or your hands into running water, like from the earth, a stream, a river, a lake, the ocean, without having to get all the way immersed even, just to place your feet in there, you are also on the ground of it and feeling the movement of the cleansing frequency of water. So as I said, your body is made up of the earth, minerals, and the chemical frequencies that are within the physical structures of the earth body are in you. And you also, you know, are water. Your science tells you how much. 90-some% perhaps. There's a lot of you is water and air. So what makes up the difference? Oh, the little bits that science can measure. But it's all important that you not get too mental about what that is, but to feel into it. So of course, if the running water available is through a pump or a faucet that you turn on and you can feel that, be present to what that is. Oftentimes it's a matter of convenience for cleansing your teeth or washing your body or your face, and it isn't necessarily, for most of you, frequently considered your oneness with it, your participation with it as an element of your being, as an element of the earth. It's sort of one of those moments that you have which is mindless of that, while your mind is thinking of other kinds of things. Well, it's not a wrongness, but be present when you can. Some have even gone with the earth part that I've spoken of, bought a shallow pallet, small, not very large perhaps, that they fill with earth and grass, that they can have in their home to sit in meditation or stand with their feet on that. That's creative and that's wondrous. For some, I already can hear the mind saying, yeah, but what about there are bugs or ants? Or all right, yes, don't invite them in, but if they are in, enjoy them, and then invite them back out to where they want to live more freely. But these little tiny beings, which would be considered pests for most people, don't perceive that if they're in a small piece of land that you happen to have inside your home, that it's anything different than the piece of land that they might be touching in a bigger world outside of your home. They're in the presence of whatever that is, the structure of it. So, grounding, earthing, hug a tree. When you have a live plant growing leaves or flowers, or cut stems of flowers and herbs, smell them, touch them, feel the essence of them, the essential oils and the gifts that they bring you. Be part of the earth, for this earth is an element beyond an element. It is the sacred ground that you are living in. Well, Yes, there is importance for you to create environments that remind you of your sanctuary of peace, of your elemental communion with all of the nature, and which can be the sacred solitude, like your sanctuary of personal healing, meditation, communion with all. And it can be the sanctuary which is open for community, whether it's your family, your friends, or others in a larger community that you would invite into your space to feel the sacredness with you of what is created in your place of dwelling and all around it. For it has been spoken in various religious contexts. When two or more are gathered, there in the midst of that, I am, right? So when you're physically with the presence of others, whether it's in your home, in the sanctuary of nature as it is expressed around you, outside of your home, on a nature walk, walking a labyrinth, just sitting in a circle somewhere where you're in the element of nature. Those moments are on the highest list, I can say, of opportunities to commune with nature and your fellow divine essences here on this planet with you. For some it will be even a more detached kind of community, meaning perhaps a larger venue of people in a church or in an auditorium or in some other way that people have gathered for a common purpose, for joy, for pleasure, for celebration, for deep prayer, meditation, is all of those things. So bring all of that nature which you have absorbed and recognized is who you are in your form into any other circumstance that you are meeting with, communing with, and sharing with others. Some have brought teaching forth of the four primary direction of the earthly plane as it is seen, north, south, east, west, and various elements that are associated with each of those directional frequencies that you might have guessed. Most often I am associated with the element of earth, just as my beloved in the archangelic world hold a frequency of love and light with water, with fire and air. But we are just representations of holding that in a sacred way with you. Our roles are, one could say, interchangeable because there is no clear defining of our own presence and purpose. We have accepted, as many of the ascended masters have accepted, a role in sustaining and teaching and holding, if you will, a frequency of a particular ray of energy, and what that might represent for you, it is similar to that. So in a hierarchy of things, I am not in charge of all the elementals who play and wander in the earth. I'm not in charge of them. I am charged with honoring and loving and supporting them, but I am not their boss, you see, in charge of in that way. So I say some of these little simple things to you as a reminder of who your role here in your body, here on this earthly planet, that is serving beyond the earthly planet. It is serving greater and greater expanded realms of being. You have connection with in your soul to so many so-called places within the cosmic world, other planetary systems, other star systems. Beyond that, the space of space, the light of light, the black hole, which is observed to have only an absorption of light, which is not visible. Wherever these realms are defined, you are part of that. And you carry not just the frequencies of the elements of the planet Earth, but all these other places which your soul has visited in embodiment and non-embodiment. What a coincidence it is, then, that so much of what is physically measured as elements of this earth are not only here, or have not originated here. It is bigger than anyone can fathom, right? There's a great delight in archaeology, making discoveries of what's hidden beneath the surface of cities, previous cities, and previous dwellings, and artifacts of life in art form and in functionality and in human remains. It fascinates people until those discoveries mean that they have to completely reevaluate what they thought was how things were. How did life evolve? When did humans get here? How did they get from here to here? They've so many mysteries, and so it can be remaining a mystery. It doesn't need to be resolved and solved. It is, though, that you are part of all of it. While you are here, whether you think it's your first time in embodiment on this planet, or your thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of times here, it doesn't matter. You are here. You are of the earth, in the realm of that physicality. And beyond the realm of that physicality, as you perceive it, you are in that which is not seen, felt, sensed in most ways, as the frequencies and the elements beyond your vision and your perception. You do know, or you may have known, that your human visual system does not see everything that other creatures see. Other beings on the earth see different frequency ranges. And not only that, you haven't always seen the colors and the spectrum that you perceive now. They did not exist. They were not in the nature that was perceived or the visible world, but they are now. What does that mean? It's just an evolution of your visual capacity to see more than you used to know was there. Have you heard of the stories of some natives to this earthly globe, witnessing ships that they did not see? They didn't witness it. Ships were coming in and they felt some energy of it. They did not see and know what was happening. They had no context in which to understand that until a shaman could see and explained and made that information known. And even then it wasn't an instant, of course now I see it. Did you know that, for example, most of the range which is called hot pink and fuchsia, for example, were not seen several hundred years ago at all? They weren't visible because they just did not seem to exist in the realm of what nature was giving, or at least couldn't be identified in those ways by the human visual track. Same for what is heard. Your range of hearing is not that of a whale or a bat, right? And you can increase your capacity to not only hear frequencies beyond your measured ones that are now existing for you, but you can learn to be at peace with them. And one of these is the ringing in your ears. It can be very difficult to live with a sharp ringing in your ear. It could feel annoying and disturbing to thought and to other things. So we acknowledge that it is usually perceived as something that's wrong. It can be, oftentimes, but not usually, corrected with certain shifting of things that you consume in the body or techniques to realign and balance. What if, though, most of that would be resolved to identify it in a new way? To identify it as as the energy of creation, as the frequency of the divine that you're now perceiving more and more. And what if then, by becoming accustomed to that in your meditation or in your prayerful state of acknowledging it rather than being angry or fearful of it, it exists without you being consciously, moment to moment, always aware, oh, I'm having this ringing in my ear. It's just sort of part of you. It integrates, as some words are that you've been hearing. But so you as a humanist and elements of earth and beyond are growing as you grow. And by the empathy you experience emotionally, sometimes you feel sad and hurt or angry that things are not always balanced and in alignment. So that's your work, isn't it? Your work isn't to fix the problems, although that may be part of your joyful gift, to participate in coming to solutions and healing and balancing of that in the physical realm. But it is that your work is that you continue to heal from within your fear, grief, and anger about all of that, so that you can be effective in your unifying those energies, healing those energies within and all around you, and calling on the elemental world and the archangelic worlds to assist you in whatever your role may be, to bring balance and alignment into the wholeness of this physicality called the earth. So people like to think in terms often of saving the whales, saving the earth, saving a species, saving humanity. We're not in opposition to that. But as many of the masters have taught, rather than to feel the saving is what is needed in terms of the fear and anger and grief, shifting saving to serving, so that there is a more high energy of light that you present, so that those elements, the species, and the whole fabric of life here can be experienced in new ways and higher levels for all. I am in joy to share these things with you this day. So yes, elements of places, elements of the earth, of nature, of the weather, of the climate may not be inviting to walk with bare feet upon the earth, or to even stand and feel the sun for long. It may not feel good because now there are rains and winds that are high. We understand that. It's not convenient. So consider, how will I invest in my grounding, connecting with earth? Will I create a pot of dirt that I can just touch, play with, bless, be part of? As a child, were you so blessed that you played in the mud? Wasn't it a grand feeling? If you didn't, now is your time. Great and glorious are thou, and welcome to the worlds of love from whence we are all merging, re-merging, and unifying, and so We bless you. We honor you. Thank you. Oh, I well, I'm going to wrap it up. Um, Invite you to consider coming to play with us this last Saturday of this month. And details will be in these notes or on our website. And thank you for sharing with me. I look forward to the next Wednesday when we see how Spirit wants to play with us, share with us, guide us, and simply be in that zone of love with us. So I send you all that love that I know we are together. And thanks for being present to play with me today. Have a beautiful day.